It's the savvy side of 9 to 5. Listen.
It's not a lie if you believe it.
Laugh.
We had a little fun, because it's a very long day, you know.
And learn.
Negotiation. This is what you do in business.
This is the Focus Group with Tim Bennett.
All right, let's go already.
And John Nash.
Pucker up, Buttercup.
With a focus on career, the consumer culture, and marketing from an LGBT point of view. We're all business, except when we're not.
Welcome to the Focus Group. John Nash here with my good friend and co-host, Mr. Tim Bennett. We're all business except when we're not, and I guess the we're not part's coming to an end. This is the last official week of summer, and so this is going to be our little gift to you for Labor Day, a Labor Day podcast, but this is the Wednesday before Labor Day. I cannot believe that if you just snap your fingers, boom, summer is gone. It's just crazy.
I was trying to think of when we were little kids and you had, when you left school at the end of June or mid-June. And it felt like summer was...
had forever.
A year.
Yes.
Right? And you had to get all new clothes.
I learned how to skateboard one summer.
No wonder why my mother thought it was crazy to get new clothes. You remember you had to get new school clothes?
Because in her head, it's 3 months.
Yeah, a month and a half. And I'm upset because I had, so the beginning of the season, you know, I always wear white bucks. Mm-hmm. That was kind of my thing I used to do. And then I took them out of the closet in May to wear up here for Memorial Day, and the sole fell off.
Wait. Did it separate from the upper part of the shoe?
It separated, and it's the you know, because I had them, they were so old. And then I thought I'd buy another pair, but the problem was it was high season, so I had no white bucks this summer for the first time in 30 years. And so now I'm going to have to, when they go on sale after Labor Day, when they go on sale,
Can I do this quick sidebar? You just reminded me of a story from my early 80s days when I used to buy very expensive clothing, including shoes. And so I had a pair of loafers from a store in the city called Botticelli. And they matched my Armani suit and my Armani overcoat.
Armani suit?
You remember all this? I used to do design work for Giorgio Armani. I used to design some catalogs. And as part of my little favor or payment, they would let me into the sample room.
Wow.
And the woman that I worked with and the guy, Jack Amato, the art director, they were super cool. He'd be like, pick anything you want. And it would be like, it would like be a $10 tie, but I got a beautiful overcoat that Bruce Willis had worn in a photo shoot for Vogue or something. And so it's pouring rain. I got one of those little crappy umbrellas, the kind that collapse if the rain hits the wrong way. And I'm walking along towards the United Nations to go to lunch with somebody, and suddenly my feet felt soaking wet. And I looked down, and I couldn't figure out, but I looked behind me, and the soles of both shoes were left on the sidewalk where they had separated from the upper part of the shoe. And it turns out that I go to Botticelli days later, and the woman says, "Oh, these are dress shoes for dress occasions." She goes, "These are not to be walked around in." She goes, "What happened?" I told her about the rain. She goes, "Oh, it's special animal glue. It dissolved in the rain."
Oh, for God's sakes. So what did she think? You were just, or like a driving shoe? You just put it on for the car and drive?
Just for the car.
Take it off? That's
so
funny.
I never will forget the looks of people around me and how we all laughed when I realized what had happened. How could you not laugh? No, I started laughing. How could you not laugh?
Where were you headed? Did you go to lunch with your wet feet?
I ended up getting to the restaurant with holding the shoes, the bottoms of the shoes, and then of course I had to untie the tops, and because I was a block away, and the woman I was meeting, she goes, "What the H?" And I was like, "Well, you know, I said I got to go to Botticelli and figure it out," but that's when I figured out the animal glue stuff. But that was the end of the specialty shoe. There, you know.
Like blowing out a flip-flop.
All right, so, you know, on the eve of Labor Day, you and I have often done this. We talk about fall plans. Things are going to get done in the fall because we've taken, you know, this summer's summer. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster.
Well, August becomes kind of the
dog days, slow down.
It's almost a little bit now like the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? Yeah. There seems to be not a lot. Trains are not as
summer
crowded.
Hours.
Everyone's
people are on vacation.
Kids are getting ready to go back to school.
I got a list.
A list of things you're doing for the fall?
I'm going to hopefully successfully pass my last animation course.
Well, that's not even a discussion.
All right, so I'm going to pass the class.
We've got something later on in Business Birthday where I'm going
to
fix you on that.
So hopefully I'll do that.
I'm scared.
But then I have to do all the things I haven't been doing the last year and a half while I've been taking class. And that's, you know, there's stuff to be thrown away, things to be cleaned, and I cannot wait. I'm dying to wait. I cannot wait to purge paper. You know what I'm talking about, the statements and all that crap that I can't wait to just get it out of my life. So that's on the decks for September. Plus some nice.
You don't have that much stuff to get rid of.
You know,
compared to a lot of people I know, including
I get a bank statement and it sits for a while and I get panicky. I'm like, I got to shred it.
Get it online.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, on that front, always keep at least 1 or 2 statements from, maybe it's a yearly report or something, in case you need a paper backup. Having one statement, maybe it's a PDF file you download to your computer, you don't have to print it out, but do have a backup in case the web goes fluky.
What was that show that the people were all worried about? Doomsday. You have cash? Do you have cash under the mattress in case the ATMs don't work?
Actually, it's not under the mattress. It's in a box. And when we lost power in Manhattan, guys, do you remember how many years? In our booth, our fabulous crew, we have John, Garrett, and Allie.
Oh,
they are all fantastic. And guys, do you remember when we last lost the power? Was that like 2010 or 11? Or was it 9 even?
2003?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Garrett's right, because it was not long after 9/11. We all thought something was bad. So without power, you can't pump gas, you can't take cash out, you can't run credit card transactions. And so
you can't go to the store a lot of times because the registers don't work.
They don't work. So someone said, you got to keep $300 in an envelope, a mix of 20s and 5s, whatever. And that way you'll have cash if you need it. I don't think
all you have?
No, I don't have. There's more in that envelope.
Okay, because a friend of mine, because the $300 in New York's not going to go fast. Or go far. You can't even get off the island. You couldn't get your car out. The friend of mine told me this, similar to you. She said, "Oh, you got to have money saved." And I asked her how much. What number do you think she gave me?
I think if she was talking about cash in an envelope, she was probably nearing 1,000 or 1,500.
More.
3,000?
More.
5?
More.
No, no.
She was of the opinion you needed to have $50,000 on hand.
Do you know?
And I said to her, well, listen. I said, if things are that bad that I need $50,000 in cash, I said, we've got a lot of other problems that may not be able to get to the bank.
How about my old business partner who thought we should all be carrying gold coins? Because when all the shit,
said that?
It was Dave.
Dave?
Dave was obsessed with gold. He thought when it all comes crashing down, we're going to need gold. I'm like, well, if it all comes crashing down, and I've got a gold coin, and you got a carton of milk, who cares?
Because you're going to loot anyway.
All right, anyway, what caught your eye?
Go looting.
What caught your eye? Here's what Tim and John found.
Did you just say go looting?
Go looting. Looting. So I found this interesting because having grown up in New England, John, even though you're not a fan, Dunkin Donuts is like the community center, right? Dunkin Donuts is ubiquitous with New England.
Now, don't say I'm not a fan. When my dad brought home the dozen, if there were not the jelly donuts in there, I'm a fan. But not the coffee. I don't drink coffee. But yeah.
So Dunkin Donuts and they've decided as of August that out in Pasadena, California, they're going to try this out. They're changing the name. They're going to drop the name Donuts from Dunkin Donuts. So it's going to be Dunkin.
I think this is a bad idea.
So they said, don't worry, you're still going to be able to get donuts at Dunkin Donuts, but they decided that they were going to emphasize that they sell more coffee. Even though they're the largest donut seller in the country, they want to be a beverage-driven company.
So that's the new...
So somebody did that. So that's kind of the modified. Now you can still see the DD there if you're watching on video on Facebook or YouTube. You can see the DD as Dunkin Donuts in the logo there, but they took the donuts and they're just leaving Dunkin. Still using the same colors. But they have over 12,000 locations worldwide. They're just going to try this in a few locations and see how it works. And the company said that their explanation was, while we remain the #1 retailer of donuts in the country, as part of our efforts to reinforce the Dunkin Donuts as a beverage-led brand and coffee leader, we are testing signage in some new locations that simply brand us as Dunkin. So those are some of the original logos that had happened over the years. That are on there.
This is totally geeky, but if they did DD, if they kept just DD, people might think it was Dungeons and Dragons. That's totally a geek thing. Garrett laughed. Garrett got it. See, thank you. All right. Anyway, back to Dunkin. Sorry, took you off the rail.
Or Dumb Dora. From Match Game. The name change, they said, isn't a big deal after the long-established tagline they have. Do you know what their tagline is?
No.
American runs on Dunkin.
American runs on Dunkin. Sorry.
So they said, so they're not so sure that the donut thing taken away is going to be a big deal. And they said, especially in New England, where the people are, they said it's a culture up there. It's a way of life, Dunkin' Donuts. And then they said the story goes on to talk about a couple of rebranding efforts that happened in the last 5-6 years, and they highlight 3 that were huge disasters of companies that decided to change names. Can you think of any? Or did you look ahead?
No, I did not look ahead, and I'm trying to think of brands that either shortened their name or dropped part of it or something. So what was like?
So in 2011, Netflix decided to rename the
Quickster.
DVD delivery service to Quickster.
Disaster.
So we have a slide on those. And they decided that after less than a month, people complained so much that they just went back to Netflix for everything. Pizza Hut decided to be more hip. They changed the name to The Hut.
That certainly appealed to Return of the Jedi fans.
In 2009, they said they were ridiculed for it by trying to be too hip, and that essentially took away from the fact that you're selling pizza.
Yeah.
So
I remember The Hut, though. It was short-lived, The Hut.
So they had a couple of retailers where you could see actually that they just had The Hut, but that was stopped quickly. And then Radio Shack decided to change their name to The Shack. And they said that while a lot of people do not buy radios anymore, an awful lot of people were going there. They wanted people to go there to buy premium electronics. And they said, who's going to go to The Shack to buy premium electronics? So that as well did not do well. So they
Well, I remember my favorite was the Quickster one. That one was quickly.
Well, they said it was all on this kind of 2009, 2010, 11, where brands were trying to be more hip. So Quickster, The Hut, The Shack.
Also, Netflix was obsessed with streaming, and they wanted to separate this old style, you're getting the disc in the mail, from the streaming thing.
So that's what caught my eye. So if you see a Dunkin' sign without the donuts, they're just testing it out. Don't be afraid. You can still get donuts.
So, Tim, that's kind of that's our wheelhouse. That's branding and marketing.
Yep.
It's and I've kept it in the wheelhouse quite accidentally. But this is something I'm curious to see what you think about. So Royal Dutch Airlines, KLM, created a graphic that they posted for Amsterdam Gay Pride. And it was a cute little thing involving rainbow seat belts. John put that up for us. Excellent. So the tweet actually says something about "we all click." And it went... It went bad really quick. Let's just put it this way. The internet hopped on this one. Yeah, it doesn't matter who you click with. So about, I don't know how long after this came out, did no one realize that only the hetero seatbelt actually works? The male-female buckle,
the
right?
gays.
And then some guy named Ben Shapiro says, if you use the top 2 seatbelts and the plane has turbulence, you could die. This is really literal for me. And then some guy goes, hello, stewardess, my seatbelt doesn't work. It doesn't matter who you click with, but I could die in an accident. Homophobe. Someone might want to explain to this airline that 2 of those 3 pairs of seatbelts will never actually click when you accidentally affirm the teleology of natural law. And then they click on this thing and they demonstrate the picture. When you're being flung around the cabin of a Royal Dutch Airlines flight, you'll feel satisfied that their safety policies are 100% PC, for politically correct. Now, had I shown you this creative...
I was going to say, you're the creative director, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have shown that.
Okay, so I had a quick memory of it was a Miller Coors ad, and it was a coffee table, and it had beer bottles and caps, and it said tops and bottles. Remember that one?
Right.
You know, you come up with what you think is an ingenious little idea, or how about the other social media post that was successful was Oreo, and they had all the different colors of the different cream colors in the middle of the cookie. Hard to knock that, right? But this seemed like it could be. I don't think they thought it would go off the rails.
The best one I remember recently was the General Motors, where they had the Volt in the middle.
Mom, Dad, I'm
There was
electric.
a Silverado and an Impala, I believe, and it said Mom, Dad, I'm electric, which I think brilliantly showcased what they were trying to get across on many levels. This, when I saw that picture just now when you flashed it up, I was kind of surprised by it because essentially it's saying this doesn't work, but this one does.
If you read, yeah, well, so...
If you take it literally, which it sounds like everybody on Twitter did.
Everybody took it literally. Well, not everybody, but so basically KLM pulled, I don't know if they pulled it down, but there was definitely tail tucked between their legs on that one. And I just don't think, If I had shown you that creative, would you have poked it with a stick like Twitter did? When
Yeah, I would have said it doesn't make sense. Because you got to figure out people are going to be literal with that sort of thing.
And by the way, to anybody watching and listening, Tim would know this more than anybody because every commercial you've ever made has had something little. A deer walks in front of the car, and everybody goes crazy.
That type of deer is not indigenous to that footage of the forest where you were. Yeah.
What was the one where they were doing? I think Subaru
Bunny
once.
rabbit.
There was that, but they also did a tent sale once, and there was a monkey on the set, a little chimpanzee, and everybody flipped out. How dare you use a monkey on the tent sale? And it was like a monkey. It's someone's pet monkey.
My favorite one was the one of the region offices, and we told them not to do it. This was in Seattle. They were next to the Nissan booth, and this is when Subaru was really popular with Crocodile Dundee, Paul Hogan.
Yeah.
So the brilliant marketers out there in the Northwest decided they were going to bring kangaroos to the auto show.
They did not bring kangaroos, did they?
So they couldn't find kangaroos, so they got the little ones, the wallabies.
Yeah, yeah.
And they got loose and shit all over the place, all over the cars, ripping stuff off the cars. It went over and really damaged the Nissan display.
What year was
They had to
this?
shut it down. Late 90s.
So sadly, it was before YouTube and a lot of. I would have loved to have seen that.
And I got the phone call, I need budget money. We've got to pay Nissan. They had to close their booth. The wallabies got loose. I was like, why did you bring...
This is a look, and to explain that one step further, I'm not sure if everybody realizes this. Auto is what we call a bifurcated industry. The manufacturer makes the car. Yep. The dealer is independent. They acquire the vehicle.
It's independent, and at the auto shows, though, you rely on some dealer assistants, and you have dealer people that work the show along with people from the corporation or the third-party vendor. But yeah, I just remember getting the call on Monday and just laughing.
John, I know how to reach the gay market. We're going to pull a casino truck in. We're going to put boys in gold Speedos and give everybody bingo chips. I know how to do gay marketing down here in Texas. Remember that dealer?
Yeah.
Game's a chance. We're going to bring boys in
Speedos and keychains.
Girls in bikinis. We're going to get the gays and the lesbians.
Well, staying on the business theme, we have a birthday today.
Everyone does celebrity birthday greetings, but the Focus Group is the only show in the universe that celebrates business birthdays.
He's the Wizard of Omaha, the Oracle of Omaha, the Sage of Omaha, Warren Buffett. He's 87 years old today, born August 30th, 1930, an American business magnate, investor, and philanthropist. He's considered by some to be the most successful investor in the world. In March 2017, he was the second wealthiest person in the U.S. and fourth largest person in the world with a net worth of over $73 billion. There he is with President Clinton. He's a devout Democrat. He was
Obama,
a big what did I say?
Clinton.
Oh yeah, he was a supporter. He was a supporter of Hillary Clinton in the last campaign. But there's a picture of him there if you're watching on video with.
How old did you say
the White
was
House
on this
with
birthday?
Obama? He's 87.
87.
And
He's doing great.
They said he, at an early age, was inspired with finance and money. At age 7, his favorite book was 1,000 Ways to Make $1,000, and it was about ways you could
That was his favorite book.
His favorite book. You could take $5 and how you can make $5 be $1,000. He acquired a struggling textile firm out of Massachusetts called Berkshire Hathaway, because I always wondered how the name came about. And so that became the holding company. And again, if you're watching, I didn't realize he owns 100% of Geico, Fruit of the Loom, NetJets, and then has minority and in some cases controlling interests of all those brands below. Apple, Wells Fargo, Coke, United Airlines, as well as some other airlines, Benjamin Moore, IBM, Heinz Ketchup, American Express, Dairy Queen. Can you imagine?
He's got the brassiere.
So
Sorry, that's what we used to call
the brassiere. He's pledged to give 99% of his fortune away to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He and Zuckerberg have decided to do that. And now, here's some quirky things about him. He was infatuated with a young woman in 1949, and she had her current boyfriend could play the ukulele. So he decided he was going to play the ukulele and win her
to compete,
which he did. In 1952, he married her. They had 3 children. And then he left her in 1977 for her friend and lived with her until his wife died. He never divorced. So he left
the wife's friend.
Lived with her. So he never divorced the first wife, moved in with the wife's friend in 77. until his wife died in '04. And then he married, which was his mistress on his 76th birthday in '06, this woman named Astrid. The weird part was the three of them were friends, and their Christmas card that came out every year had their three names on it. It was always signed Warren, Susie, and Astrid. And they asked Charlie Rose. Charlie Rose asked about this, and they said she talked about her love of him, and he got choked up when Charlie Rose asked Warren Buffett about this kind of odd arrangement. But he said he loved his wife, and she said she loved him, but they just lived apart and never divorced. And there must have been some sort of financial arrangement, I'm sure. Don't you think?
You don't have Warren Buffett move into the apartment above the garage without some kind of.
And then here's something I thought we should do, because I find this all smart and successful people do this. Do you play bridge?
No, but
I'd like to learn.
But I think it was Bob's mother was talking about bridge recently. It's kind of a complicated card.
He's an avid bridge player. He plays a lot with Gates, and he'll spend 12 hours a week playing bridge. He said he wouldn't mind being in jail if 3 of his cellmates could play bridge. And they were good at it, and they could play 24 hours a day. And then it's also been reported he does not carry a mobile phone, does not have a computer at his desk. He drives his own car, which is a Cadillac DTS, which we show the picture of there. His house is very humble, which he still has there in Omaha. He, in 2013, had a Nokia flip phone, and he sent 1 email his entire life. That was it. He reads 5 newspapers a day. He begins with the Omaha World Herald, which he owns. And he advises people, and this is where I was talking to you earlier about your list of things. He advises people to write down the top 25 things you want to accomplish in the next 3 to 5 years. And then after you do that, after you make your list of the 25 things you want to do, just pick 5 and get rid of the rest. He said because if you concentrate on those 5, the other things will get done. And if you just do those 5 things, he said lists that are too long or just hinder everything and get nothing done.
He's 100% right about that, man.
And then
I love that technique, by the way.
And then his other piece of advice, because he owned Coca-Cola and the Chinese loved him, he's on the cans in Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I saw that on the picture.
Cherry Coke. And then he says he avoids buying stock in companies like Facebook and Google. He won't buy social media stock because it's hard to estimate their future value. He also said that initial public offerings or IPOs are always a bad investment. So Warren Buffett, there's a lot written about him and quite a character.
And thanks to you, we've now learned. I have never heard that story about the wife and the friend.
I never did either, and I was shocked when I read it.
And bridge is another one, and the list of 25, cull it down to 5. Yep. That's a new one on me.
So that's our business birthday.
As many of you know, Deep Discount is a partner of ours here on the Focus Group, and I think in honor of the business birthday, Deep Discount would be a great friend of the Oracle of Omaha.
Well, you see, so you did learn something.
Save money at Deep Discount. And in light of our notion for this show being a Labor Day show and this talk of Labor Day resolutions, I resolve to follow the new sale that they're doing, which is complete TV series sale. So you can buy a series from end to end. And we had a lot of fun with this. So if you go to deepdiscount.com and get there by going to our website, focusgroupradio.com, click on the shark logo. I got to do the pirate thing whenever I do the shark. I do not know why.
Where's that from?
I don't know, but it's the shark. And he's got sunglasses on, too. Click on the logo, go to Deep Discount, and you'll land on the, and check out their TV and complete series sale. So we had fun with this one because there are a lot of shows that we love that we think you should watch end to end as well. And so one I picked exclusively for Tim.
So the one of the series that I loved, and my father used to make me watch it, although I would get scared initially.
Dad made you watch it?
Yeah, my father found it quite funny. Was the Munsters, and the Munsters it's probably similar to your Star Trek, but it only ran for 2 seasons. It had high ratings, but it had 70 episodes, but the ratings were higher than that of the Addams Family. But eventually, when Batman came out in color, the ratings tanked for the Munsters and it was canceled. But it was 70 shows. It was the all-American family, even though they were ghouls and kind of supernatural goblins. Marilyn, as you know, was the normal one. And
the normal one.
The normal one. Yeah. But it was done by the same team that did Leave It to Beaver.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the one, Fred Gwynn for years hated the fact that he was Herman Munster because that's what everybody referred to him as. Even when he was in My Cousin Vinny.
Yep, that's the judge.
As soon as he came on screen, people in theaters would go, "It's Herman Munster." But A lot of it had to do with the costume was about 40 pounds that he had to wear. Plus, he had asphalt shoes on. He said the one good thing about it was he didn't have to do any personal appearances or very little because it took so long to put the makeup on.
Get him dressed up.
But it's a great series. It's fun to have. I play it. I bought it, and I play it at Halloween in front of my house. So when the kids come,
it's crystal clear, black and white.
crystal
right?
clear, and it's on the. I put a sheet out on the yard, and the Munsters is playing, and where everyone else has got scarier stuff, I've got the Munsters.
I need to go down to Glenside for.
Glenside's fun for Halloween. It's like Mayberry. But so that's that was my pick. That you picked for me was the Munsters.
But I knew you'd pick it.
Yeah.
So that was easy. Another series that I really think you should check out, end to end, again available at deep discount. Get there at focusgroupradio.com. Click on their logo. Strangers with Candy. This is David Sedaris' sister, Amy Sedaris, plays the lead role. Stephen Colbert's in the show. I believe this originally aired on Comedy Central, might be the network I'm thinking of. But it is a bizarre, hilarious. There are a lot of great cameos, a lot of great comedy. I think it's just a really fun series to.
I haven't seen that, and everybody I know loves it.
So you think you might want to pick it up and check it out? And the last one that I picked for the complete TV series sale is a personal favorite of mine. I don't know if it's a favorite of yours.
No.
Yeah, I knew. I suspected this. So it's The Odd Couple with Tony Randall and Jack Klugman. We watched it all the time. And it's based on Neil Simon's movie of the same name, which starred Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. So Jack Lemmon was Tony Randall and Walter Matthau was Jack Klugman. I have very specific Odd Couple memories. Like, okay, so...
Was it something with your mom and dad you all would watch together?
Well, no, Laura, my sister and I, this was an afternoon rerun.
Okay.
It was like a 4 o'clock show or something. And, you know, if it was hot out, whatever, we would flop down and watch this. One episode in particular, Felix thinks the air conditioner in their apartment is possessed. And they're gonna and Oscar hires a guy to come over and do an exorcism, and the guy walks in, and Felix says, "What do you need for the exorcism?" And the guy goes, "Well, I need 2 cloves of garlic. And he listed a bunch of things. Then he goes, and half a chicken." And Felix goes, "What do you need half a chicken for?" And he goes, "I get hungry on these late night jobs." So
He's making soup.
But it was one of those typical sitcom, you know, one main set. Then Oscar's bedroom looked like a pigsty, and then there was the sisters they would date and everything. So anyway, I think I didn't zoom in on this, but it's 20 discs in this collection, I think, because The Odd Couple was on for many years, and it's not a bad price. I think it was $40-some for the 20 discs. So pretty amazing. So that was our TV
series.
complete series sale.
And of course, on the new releases, Baywatch is the release this week. The Baywatch series. Of course, it's very iconic, and I found when Baywatch was on, for me, I think I was spending too much time out of the house or away from TV. I didn't really watch the series. I know it almost feels like it's that generation's Brady Bunch a little bit, but did you watch Baywatch at all?
No, and my suspicion from the clips I've seen of the movie is I think that they took this in the direction of 21 Jump Street with Channing Tatum, where it was kind of. Did you guys see Baywatch?
No, haven't seen it, but I agree with you.
But I think from what I saw, it went in that kind of tongue-in-cheek, you know.
Yeah.
And Zac Efron, you know. Anyway, Zac Efron, he's like kind of a little gay eye.
Well, it's eye candy movie.
Eye candy, yeah, and The Rock is in it, and some of the clips I saw were amusing, and I definitely thought to myself I would not turn it off if it were on TV, but I'm not sure I would order it.
So that's so again, as John mentioned earlier, head over to focusgroupradio.com. Watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it over at deep discount, and support a partner here of ours here in the Focus Group. And as we always say.
Thanks, Deep Discount.
We're getting better at that. So, hey, it's the Focus Group with Tim Bennett and John Nash. Happy Labor Day. Or happy Labor Day week. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, there's an article that one of our listeners had sent us. He actually is a listener. He blogged about driving while gay, and it caught the eye of John and I, so it's going to be part of our shop talk. Stay with us. We'll come right back.
Brought to you by Volkswagen. Visit VW.com to learn more. Focus on the savvy side of 9 to 5 with the Focus Group.
really try.
Listen, laugh, and learn with Tim and John.
I never try anything. I just do it.
I tried.
Hey, welcome back to the Focus Group. John Nash with Tim Bennett. Find us every Wednesday live on Facebook and YouTube at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you miss the live broadcast, we post the show, or it's there for into perpetuity. Did I say that right? Into perpetuity.
In perpetuity.
In perpetuity.
Perpetuity.
Perpetuity. For you to see again on YouTube and Facebook. And focusgroupradio.com is where you want to go to find all the platforms we're on, audio and video. Okay, so Tim, take it away with this article.
So this had caught my eye. So as I said, one of our listeners, Randy, had written this blog post, and it was about his partner who was driving in Alabama, and the headline was driving while gay, and it was caution while driving gay. And so I thought, well, what does that mean? And many of us know whether you see some sort of bumper sticker on a car, whether we immediately make an impression or an idea about somebody. And this happened. They had a car, as I said, he was driving in Alabama. He had an HRC sticker, which is the blue box with the equal sign, the yellow equal sign. If you're watching on the video there's a picture of it on a Volkswagen.
Volkswagen Golf, right?
Right, with the HRC logo. And what happened was this couple came up next to him and started harassing him. And they tried to cut him off, tried to get him off the road, were giving him the finger. They were being very aggressive with him. He got nervous. He was scared. They were in a much bigger sort of SUV sort of thing. He started filming what was going on, because he was afraid. They'd get in front of him, slam the brakes on, yelling expletives at him. And as he crossed into Georgia, he got pulled over by the police. So this couple who was harassing him, for no other reason he figures was because of the HRC sticker, had reported that he was carrying a gun and pointed a gun at them and called 911 that he was brandishing a gun. So the Georgia police pull him over. They obviously knew right away what was going on. They said, "Do you have any guns?" He said, "No, but here's what happened to me in Alabama."
And he had that on the film on the phone.
Right. And they asked him, they said, "Do you want us, we'll contact the Alabama police and let them know this was a false 911 report and give them their license number. Do you want to press charges?" He said, "I want to just leave it alone." And his partner said he wishes he had taken it further, but it started making me think about all the different impressions we make when we see cars now, with either a rainbow sticker, or it could be anything from a political statement, or I'm a vegan, or NRA sticker, and you immediately have an impression about the person driving. And you had posted, along with this as well, a campaign that your agency did for Subaru years ago that had very coded messages on it.
Yeah, let's circle back to that one in a second, because it's an interesting end note, in my opinion, to what we're talking about here. So I'm going to step back for a second. I read the blog post. I was mortified because, A, you're talking about 3,000 pound, 2,000 pound vehicle traveling with an internal combustion engine at 60, 70, 75 miles an hour. You're playing games on the highway. Always, someone's going to lose an eye. Put that rubber band down. I'm not. So there's that. And I think it was smart for him to film it. So anyway, stepping back, I think you're like me. Cars have body language. The way drivers drive, the way they move in and out of the lanes, the drifting, or we assign personalities to people without even knowing who they are, right? Just based on how they're driving. Then you layer into it the stickers. And I think if you go back 10 or 12 years, the HRC thing was very coded. You had to know what the Human Rights Campaign was. Other than that, it was just a blue square with a yellow equal symbol. And stickers that might have said, big fan of Yosemite, or, if there was national park stickers over a car, clearly they love the national park system.
Well, you're right. A lot of people did the HRC sticker because it wasn't the rainbow, or it wasn't a pink triangle.
It was a way of letting you code it.
It was much more coded than a simple rainbow sticker, or, I'm gay, or whatever.
So that led to that, so I'm bothered by the fact that, I guess it's two things. That they have the awareness that I'm sure he's right, by the way. I have no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
That the interpretation of why they harassed him on the road was 100% accurate, and it had to do with them knowing what that sticker meant, which is a double-edged sword, right? So now people know what the sticker is, and they know it stands for a gay rights lobbying organization. And the double-edged sword is they know it stands for a gay rights lobbying association, so they can now use.
Quick sidebar: and that a friend of mine had an Outback, Subaru Outback, and had an HRC sticker on it, and let his dad use the car for a week to go to work. And his dad would drive the car every morning, and he would say, "Gosh, I can't believe how friendly everybody is. A lot of people drive by me and beep the horn and wave." And he said it must be because people like your Outback, your Subaru Outback. And then he finally realized, well, Dad,
the sticker.
Hey. So poor Dad was in the, as he said, my poor dad was being cruised with the Outback with the HRC sticker. Now, would you have pressed charges? I guess
as you told the story, and as I had read it, but I think your telling of it does a nice condensing, and also like really hits the big points. I'm sure the troopers are incredibly courteous. I'm sure they figured out exactly what was going on the minute they pull someone over. You talk to any law enforcement officer, they know within seconds who they're dealing with.
Brandishing a gun or not.
Or who is just an innocent driver. I would have actually pursued a line of questioning to ask the trooper, or the state trooper that they were dealing with, what that would have meant if they pursued it. Because there are laws about falsifying a 911 call, especially in accusing someone of carrying a firearm. And if it went back to that person as some kind of a point on their license or something that would have been a negative thing, I would have actually pursued that. I don't want to go to court, but if there was a mechanism that allowed them to get dinged for doing that without having to, be involved with it beyond filing the report, I would have definitely.
And he was away from home, so yeah, so it would probably require him going to another state to go to court,
testify, or.
But it's.
Now, to the Subaru campaign, that last slide we had, John, there's a picture of it. One of the most popular campaigns we did when you and I were working with the Subaru brand for the LGBT market was a ad campaign. No, it's the never even noticed that Volkswagen, the fag.
It should be the third slide.
It was the last slide.
Yeah, with the
there's a campaign. There it is. This was the most popular campaign, I believe, that we did. It's called Different Drivers, Different Roads, One Car. And it picked up on what me and Tim were saying a second ago about the coding and understanding. And so this goes back to 95, 97, maybe 1997.
97-ish, yeah.
Some of the cars have HRC bumper stickers on the bumpers. Some have rainbows. Yeah, that's an HRC one. And then the license plates we created for the vanity plates, they were all coded to the different places where the LGBT community likes to vacation, with the exception of Xena Lover, because at the time Xena Warrior Princess was big with the lesbians.
Those were postcards that you could pick up at the restaurants.
Remember those racks?
The Go Cards?
Go Cards, that's what they were called.
And I saw those recently. Someone has them on eBay selling them. So did you keep any?
I kept a stack of the Xena Lover.
That's funny.
As insurance for our future retirement. So we had Camp Out, Xena Lover, and the P-Townie for P-Town. And again, this was a really coded campaign. And when I actually spoke about this in an interview recently, I was in San Francisco when a bus pulled up with our ad on the side of it, and two gay guys looked at each other and smiled because they knew what this meant, and everybody else just was, oh, it's 3 cars.
Nice 3 cars with some sports equipment on it. So hey, it's the so that was what we wanted to talk about. But the one more thing we want to talk about, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we want to talk about Labor Day resolutions. A lot of people make New Year's resolutions, but John and I are big fans of Labor Day resolutions, and he had found an article that talks about them and why they're becoming more popular. So stay with us. We'll be right back and go through some Labor Day resolutions with you.
Brought to you by Volkswagen. Visit VW.com to learn more. Now back to the Focus Group with Tim and John.
Because he has a lot of chutzpah.
An entertaining look at the world of business.
Heads are spinning, heads are spinning.
Listen, laugh, and learn.
I am not gay. I never have been gay.
That's advice. People seem normal now. Right?
John Nash with Tim Bennett. It's the Focus Group. Thanks for staying with us on this Labor Day week special broadcast. Sarah Palin, Michelle Bachmann. We're all.
We thought we'd expose the crazy, but that's a walk in the park now compared to what's going on now.
Want to have a party with these folks because now they're the new normal. The new normal. So as Tim alluded to earlier, we're big fans of Labor Day resolutions. In fact, I think Labor Day for me is a really cool demarcator in the year. Summer's over. Not really. If you're in the Northeast, it's my favorite time of year, September, October, because the weather is beautiful for cycling.
September is wonderful.
No humidity. It's great. And then the leaves change. But I look at this time of year as a getting ready to jumpstart the year. So to me, and from a business point of view, the third and fourth quarters of any business are two of the most important in the year. I think if you're planning on going back to school, if you're not already in school, if you're planning continuing ed or something, you're probably looking at January classes. You're starting to think about that stuff. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of this, and I have simple resolutions I've made for this year.
So you and I had talked. It's a little bit like renewal when you go back to school. It's the start of a school year, even though it's halfway through the year, or 3/4 of the way through the year. So do you reassess things, or do you reassess your goals? You had New Year's goals?
Yeah.
So are you going to revisit those, or are you just going to start new goals?
No. The New Year's goals are always a little different to me than these goals. New Year's goals usually revolve around health and fitness.
And this is more business.
This is all about business and business. Business.
I'm curious then. What were your?
Right, so I'm going to take a couple weeks and just kind of breathe and not do a thing, because 3 weeks from now I'll be concluding, or 2 weeks from now I'll be concluding the 19-month character animation program, and I'll officially be a character animator. So
the Barbizon School of Animation.
Barbizon School of So if Pixar, Disney, Blue Sky, I'm your guy.
You're the guy.
I'm going to make that little seaweed thing move in the background.
You want to do sci-fi, or you want to do Bugs Bunny?
Unfortunately, you don't have a chance. You don't have a choice.
No choice.
They hand you the scene. You're on the project. You gotta. That's one thing I've learned. It's the joy of doing it, not necessarily the story you're telling.
John, we've got a job for you. You're going to bring Teletubbies to the. You can do Teletubbies. Would you do that?
Oh my God, the Teletubbies could be funny, but they're live. They're people in costumes. They're not.
Now we want to do a cartoon.
I would. Hey, if you're going to pay me to do it and it's animation,
Okay.
I'll do it.
Right.
So I'm going to take. I want to regroup around the learning that I had over these last 2 years. Look at what I need to continue to do on a weekly basis to stay fresh. Some little side projects there. But the bigger thing is the stuff I haven't done over the last 2 years is now going to all get done. It's purge. I'm getting rid of DVDs. I found a place that you scan the barcode of a DVD and they'll buy it from you for like 50 cents or 20, and you fill a box with this stuff and you send it off. And Pat told me about this, my friend
How much
Pat.
are they to send? That's got to be expensive.
Hey, look, if you're going to donate it, you make nothing.
Right.
If you send a box and you make $40, you made $40. They pay for it. It's a prepaid postage thing that you send.
Who pays? Oh,
The
they
company,
pay?
yeah,
So
they
it's not
send-
you. It costs you 50 to send. You got 40 back.
Yeah, could you imagine? That's
It's a good business model.
win-win for them, lose-lose for me. But in general, it's just one of those things that house stuff has to get done. We're having a new roof put on and a bunch of little things. So I'm looking forward to all those projects. And specifically, I'm looking forward to enjoying. I love the summer, but I really love the fall more. That's why someone said to me one day, like, why are you taking classes during the summer? I'm like, it's the summer. Fall is when you want
See,
to.
I always thought you were more of a summer person than a fall. I love the fall as well, and my I guess a lot of the fall is already mapped out. But I think from a business standpoint, you're right. I think we need to, you and I, reassess.
That was the article, right?
Right. We revamp some of our
Revisit, reconnect.
goals, right, and we try to decide, are we on track in certain areas? If not, what can we do to get back on track? So it's a good time to clean house that way. I always in October head out to Ohio because I'm on my college board. This is my last meeting, which quite frankly I'm happy about. So for 6 years I was on my college board, and so this is my final meeting to go out there in Ohio at Marietta. But you and I are doing an Out and Equal conference for Volkswagen. You and I are also planning a road trip for Volkswagen. We're trying to decide if we're doing Northeast or Southeast. That's changed a little bit.
Yeah, and that's going to be all dependent on where they
Timing
want to
and-
source the car from. But I think we're going to be riding the Atlas,
Yeah.
which just got a great review, by the way. I
So-
was very pleased with that.
So there's that, and then all of a sudden, it seems like more and more August is almost, we almost act like Europeans here in this country now, where August is, so many people take vacation in August. It almost becomes that dead zone that happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. There's a lot of work still getting done, but it also allows you a little bit of breathing time and time to reassess. So it's, I just can't believe that summer's official. official.
Well,
end
the
of
calendar is the season ends a couple days further.
Because you're right, September, October to me, even though you're sliding into fall, you can still have some pretty hot days, but kids are back to school, so that's always nice. Anything you're going to take off your list?
Take off my list.
Well, was there something you thought you might do that you're not going to do?
No, I'm good. Well, yeah, there was a century ride I was going to do, but I've decided not to worry about it because I'm not trained for it. Right. It's up, and it had a lot of elevation, and I thought,
century ride, that's 100 miles, right?
Yeah, this is a 109-mile ride with like 9,000 feet of fall. Well, I've been riding, but not at the level I thought I'd been riding at.
Was that up here, around here?
It was up in the Berkshires.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually a cool one called Farm to Table. Like you stop at different farms and get fresh food, your rest stops and stuff, and organically grown stuff. But I looked at my data of my riding lately, and I'm just...
Well, you were in class.
Yeah.
And so I think next year you'll probably be back on the training circuit. So if you have New Year's resolutions, hopefully you're taking stock of them this week.
Labor Day resolutions.
What did I say?
New Year's. Because we associate resolutions with New Year's. It's quite all right.
I'm glad you caught it. A lot of people don't understand. John and I will get home and someone will say, who's on the show? We don't know. Dick Cavett used to say that.
We interviewed Dick Cavett.
Who was on the show today? I don't know.
Dick Cavett would go home from his show and his doorman would say, Mr. Cavett, how was your show? And he'd say, it was fantastic. And the doorman would say, who'd you have on? He goes, I have no idea. Because the minute the show ended, he was on to the next show. He forgot who he had on.
That's the only thing that I do. If there was any redeeming quality about Trump, the fact that he could ramble for 77 minutes or however long he does it for is, as we know, it takes a lot to fill the mic.
And the crowds. I was the only one on stage.
Yeah.
I was the biggest guy on stage all the time. We're going to wash that coal in a Maytag. Clean coal. Wash it with water.
Wash it. Clean it. Hey, it's the Focus Group with Tim Bennett and John Nash. Thanks for spending time with us today. Be sure to join us here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. East, live on Facebook and on our YouTube channel, which is also branded Focus Group Radio. And if you go to focusgroupradio.com, you'll find out all the different platforms that we're available on. Thanks to our friends at Deep Discount for supporting our program here. Be sure to head over to focusgroupradio.com and click on the Deep Discount logo. And right now they've got a sale going on with the full TV series sale, and there's some great programming there. And a big thank you to our partner Volkswagen of America. Right now through the end of the month, through the end of August, they've got the month-end clearance going on. So if you're in the market for a new car, put VW on your list. It's the best time of year to shop for a car. And they've got some great products and some new products for you to check out. So thanks to Volkswagen. Everyone have a great week, and don't text and drive.
Arrive alive.
Arrive alive. See, John's there. Arrive alive. I don't know. Should it be arrive alive, don't text and drive?
I think you could do both. I think it's...
Don't text and drive, arrive alive.
Is it a palindrome? What are the things that read the same way in both directions? It's the same intent in both directions. Arrive alive, don't text and drive, don't text and drive, arrive alive.
Happy Labor Day. See ya.
It's the Focus Group with Tim Bennett and John Nash. Formerly on Sirius XM satellite radio and now accessible on all platforms. Subscribe, like, and rate us on your platform of choice. Learn more at focusgroupradio.com.